Live from our hurricane headquarters with real-time analysis from some of the nation's top meteorologists, this is Tracking the Tropics, powered by Bose Electric.
On this busy Tuesday for meteorologists, especially those focused on Hurricane Erin, and that is what we're talking about. In addition to Erin, we're also covering the two other possible areas of development that everyone's been making wild posts on social media about. I'm joined right now by Juliana Mejia, one of my fellow meteorologists here at WFLA, and we also have a featured guest meteorologist. We are very excited to hear his expertise. This is going to be a busy week. It's Jerry Jackson, the chief meteorologist at WNCT in Greensville, North Carolina, and I know all eyes are on the Outer Banks, Jerry.
In depth on talking about Eastern North Carolina as you would let me to go. So you just tell me when you want us to get into the details on our end, and I will.
Absolutely. We appreciate your expertise. And so right now we're going to send Juliana over to the wall, and she's going to catch us up on the latest with Hurricane Erin. And she's also going to pull Jerry back in for some of the expertise that he has, especially that local area. So we'll get to that in just a moment. But right now, Juliana, take it away.
Exactly. Yeah. So Hurricane Erin having a weekend. So that 11 a.m. cone for the National Hurricane Center showing steady weakening still with Erin down to 105 mile per hour winds, moving to the northwest at about 9 miles per hour. And previously, the National Hurricane Center has been kind of communicating the potential that Erin will fluctuate a little bit in strength, but now the latest cone does maintain Category 2 strength through the forecast period, through the foreseeable future for at least the next several days here. What you see in the orange and the yellow are active now tropical storm watches and warnings. I'll let Jerry talk about those in a little bit more detail here in just a moment, but just to extend out that cone to reassure everyone that the forecast now maintains still the keeping Erin over the open waters of the Atlantic. Hurricane hunters have been actively flying in and throughout the storm. You actually see what looks like live wind speeds right now, potentially showing some of the fluctuations in strength a little bit, 113 mile per hour winds. But of course, we will get the official data with each and every advisory for the National Hurricane Center. Here's a closer look at those tropical advisories, tropical storm warnings, meaning that tropical storm force conditions are expected now for portions of the Outer Banks and the coastal portions here of the Carolinas, specifically North Carolina at that, with storm surge warnings also now issued for the Outer Banks, and that includes a storm surge forecast from what I last saw within the past hour or so of 2 to 4 feet. So this is where I do want to bring in Chief Meteorologist Jerry Jackson to talk in a little bit more detail. What is it that, because of course y'all are all eyes on this system now, what are your thoughts going into this, and what are you forecasting for your area, for your market?
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm actually looking at a couple of different sources here on my end too, so just bear with me. I'll be talking to you through the phone here and actually looking at some of our local forecast graphics that we have taken up here. One of the things that we're trying to emphasize to our viewers is the fact that even though this is not going to be a direct landfall in the Carolinas, it is going to be a setup where we have essentially a very large system that's still going to bring a lot of effects to the coastline. Specifically, we're concerned about wave height in our surf zone, especially. We could be talking about 15 to 20 foot wave heights in our local surf zone. As far as wind gusts are concerned, that's going to be a little more questionable, but we certainly think it's conceivable. Many of our coastal counties could be talking about wind gusts around 50 miles an hour or higher, which is certainly within the mid-range of tropical storm force. Sustained winds, possibly around 40 miles an hour at times along the coast. Wind gusts for inland areas will be much less. For instance, our TV station is here in Greenville. We're a little ways inland away from the coast. We'll probably be looking at about 20 to 40 mile per hour winds. We've been trying to emphasize to our viewer this is a coastal impact storm. It's our coastal counties that will get hit the most. We're particularly concerned about the potential for coastal flooding and erosion, particularly along the Outer Banks. We have a storm surge watch that is in effect for the entire Outer Banks portion of North Carolina. And that map you're showing right behind you there, kind of that more concentrated area, purple near the southern end, that is eastern Carteret County. So it includes exactly right in there, not only just our Outer Banks, but there are some coastal areas within portions of Carteret County, too, that are included within that storm surge watch area. We also have a coastal flood advisory and watch that has been in effect for portions of Onslow and Carteret County, which is a little bit south of the Outer Banks here, too. So water is going to be a major concern for us. We could be looking anywhere at 2 to 4 feet water inundation along the Outer Banks. In other words, water levels that would rise above what normally is considered to be the dry land areas along the Outer Banks. And that's a significant amount of water inundation. And I know a lot of people are wondering, well, this is not going to be a landfalling hurricane. Why were evacuations given for, portions of the North Carolina coast? The Outer Banks is very prone. NC Highway 12 is one of our major roads up there. And once that goes underwater, which is very likely with this type of surge inundation, then you've basically cut off the main transportation route. And that means your main transportation route for emergency services or whatever the case may be. So that's one of our bigger concerns. Even though it's not a landfall, it's a large storm. And I don't want to say it's moving at a leisurely pace, but it's not zipping along. So this is not going to be one of those setups where we really only have to deal with it for, 4 or 5 hours. It's going to take Wednesday night into most of Thursday before it gets clear. That's a long time to have water churning along the coast. That's another thing that kind of figures in to our computations here.
And you make great points there, and that is, we've talked about Hurricane Ian before, and that's one of my key experiences of being a meteorologist so far was my experience with Hurricane Ian, and that's a prime example of, a slow-moving system just poses those threats for longer and generates more issues. And so all great forecasting right there. And also something, I was doing a live stream here for our local weather, but also talking tropics this morning, and had some people tuning in from North Carolina, from South Carolina, and mentioning, the unfortunate impacts of things like the coastal erosion and the rip currents, the rough surf. Unfortunately, it's sea turtle nests that could be potentially kind of swept up in this and disrupted. And so there's a lot of different impacts, yes, to humans, but also to wildlife and the coast there as well. And, this is a good visualization with the size of the storm. Erin already having grown quite a bit and looking to maintain. So as of this morning, tropical storm force winds extending outwards from the center of the storm, upwards of 205 miles, and looking to at least maintain that, if not potentially grow even more. Hence why the Outer Banks, as well as just coastal portions of the Carolinas, specifically North Carolina, expecting wind gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour, and those sustained winds potentially there as well at that tropical storm force level, as Erin clips these areas with the outermost extent of this very large storm. But luckily, of course, not making landfall, staying over the open waters of the Atlantic. And you can even see there areas like Newfoundland probably going to be keeping an eye out as well for some of that gusty weather. Now, jumping ahead here, just to give you all also a check-in of the Atlantic Basin and the other things that we're tracking along with Erin right now, 2 tropical waves. This tropical wave now more so towards the central Atlantic. We've had our eye on now for a few days. The National Hurricane Center has been highlighting this for a couple days now. 60% chance of tropical development over the next several days. In the short term, it has very low end odds of developing, hence why this line extends out to then the shaded area. The shaded area focusing on where it could potentially then try to organize a bit better and develop. And that's why we're looking to the later part of this week and this weekend for something to potentially arise out of this tropical wave. This tropical wave, now Invest 99L in the eastern Atlantic, has low end chances both in the short and long term for tropical development, but higher odds for the next 48 hours of trying to spin up into a tropical something. So here's a visualization of them both with at least the European model right now. Positive trends from both. The first wave taking more of an aggressive turn to the north, whereas our second wave, The Invest 99L looks to kind of hover a little farther to the south over the next few days, having a better opportunity of organizing into a tropical something in the shorter term compared to the longer range forecast, where the National Hurricane Center has been mentioning that conditions just look more and more unfavorable towards the end of this week and into next week as this gets closer to the Caribbean. However, it's still just going to be something to monitor. The spaghetti monoplots are reflecting that kind of steady westerly track and even taking a little bit of a southwesterly jog over the next few days. Part of that being this high pressure and this ridge in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, looking to potentially scoop up our first wave to the north, whereas our second wave will likely hover there just a little farther to the south. Of course, a number of environmental factors to take into consideration here. And I know people love to ask about Saharan dust, and it is one of the key things that we watch throughout this time of year. Now we are working our way towards the part of the season where that dust starts to die down, but as of right now, potentially could have some impacts, and looks like a batch of that kind of hovering just ahead of Invest 99L could potentially come around and influence Invest 99L and taint its opportunities for further development through the long range forecast. But of course, both of these waves positioned fairly nicely for at least their organization's sake over some warmer sea surface temperatures. Invest 99L, of course, going to try to follow and follow the fuel source, hence why it does make sense that it looks to stay a little farther to the south over the next few days here, taking advantage of those very warm sea surface temperatures. Naturally, of course, these are thousands of miles away. We have plenty of time to watch them both, but of course, this is that time of year where this is exactly the area that we are watching for odds of development. And, no need to worry. I know there's a lot of questions, a lot of curiosity about both waves. Neither of these are organized or named systems as of yet.
But man, social media, all those meteorologists that have been posting the single run of the GFS and where it's a Cat 5 impacting Florida, if you could stop that, that'd be great. Exactly. How do you combat misinformation, Jerry? Because there's so much of it out there.
You know, that is probably one of the most psychologically draining aspects of being a meteorologist. I absolutely detest hype. I always have. I've lived in eastern North Carolina my whole life and grew up on a farm. And I know what it's like to have these systems hit. I know what they can do, not just along the coast and for beach businesses and residential areas, but for agricultural interests too, for farmers. There's a lot of planning that goes in this time of year. A lot of folks trying to figure out, when to get a corn crop in or to get it harvested. And there's so much information out there, and sometimes it's so easy to get the message we're trying to get out conflated with another message coming from another place, and it's exhausting trying to keep it all. So we try to be meticulous when we word our forecasts when they go out. We try to make sure that people know the source they're coming from, and we try to get them to rely strictly on what our meteorologists are saying. Not to say we're perfect, nobody is, but we do have a lot of experience for eastern North Carolina specifically. One of the things that makes it so challenging from a storm surge standpoint in our area is with storm surge, the layout and geography of the coastline is so important. And in our viewing area, and I see you got a map up there, the tighter you go in on that map that we're looking at there on your screen, you see how our coastline in eastern North Carolina twists and turns in all different directions. We have south-facing beaches. We have east-facing coastal locations. And storm surge is primarily driven by wind. There are some pressure things that happen, pressure effects, but primarily by wind. So in the case of this example, Erin, we're going to have a dominant northeast wind flow, wind coming in out of the northeast. Well, a northeast wind will do a completely different effect at our east-facing beaches than it will at our south-facing beaches. The wind is the same, the wind speed is the same, the wind direction is the same, but simply because the layout of the beach or the coast is pointing in a different direction, that same wind produces different effects at different locations. And that's what makes it so difficult to try to pinpoint what a storm surge forecast looks like for this viewing area. And so back to your original point, it is a hard thing to make sure you keep all the information straight, the difference between what might happen 2 weeks out. And I tell people, when you're talking about something that's 10, 11, 12 days out, you're just throwing a dart at the board. We do good to tell you what's going to happen in 3 days' time, much less 10 days out.
We talk all the time that we call them GFS-icanes. We hate seeing them shared on our social media, and that's certainly been going on with these two the invest system and then the other tropical wave that we're tracking. And so what we're giving you is a basic overview of the steering currents to give you a better idea of what we generally expect. But just like Jared just said, it's too soon to tell where the system is going to end up. So if you see a post that says we're going to have a Cat 5 here on this day, they are absolutely incorrect at that point.
Yeah, you need to run from someone who claims that they know what's going to happen in 12 days. Nobody does.
Exactly. And so I wanted to remind our audience, this is an interactive program. We can answer your questions. We can take your comments, but you do have to use one of our branded hashtags so that we can pull those comments up here on screen. The hashtags are hashtag Hey Jerry, hashtag Hey Rebecca, or hashtag Hey Juliana. So I'm going to launch our Q&A portion of the stream here. And so use a hashtag, ask a question, hashtag Hey Jerry, hashtag Hey Rebecca, or hashtag Hey Juliana. This one, hashtag Hey Rebecca, any chance that it doesn't make the turn away from the U.S.? And the good news is there is almost no chance at this point. Juliana pointed out those steering currents between the two areas of high pressure, and it's already made that turn. It's going to continue to make the turn. Erin's been a pretty well-behaved storm from day one. You know, we've got that rapid intensification up to a Cat 5, but intensity forecasting is still one of the more mercurial elements of hurricane forecasting. And so even with that, the track has stayed generally the same. We haven't seen giant wobbles or giant changes in the track.
Also, you know, something to point out here too, look at how thin the cone is for these next several days through tomorrow and at least into Thursday as well. You can rope that in there. But even Friday, this is an increasingly narrow cone. And that is our margin of wiggle room per se. So the smaller that's getting, this is increasingly and has been a very confident forecast.
Absolutely. Our next comment coming in for Jerry, hashtag Hey Jerry. My mom is under an evacuation warning, but refuses to leave. She's not in a great spot storm surge wise. What kind of impacts can we expect?
Well, anytime you're in a coastal location and you find that viewers who have been here a long time, they develop a very good sense of where they are in relation to waterways. But what we try to emphasize to everybody is that every single storm is different. It gets back to the point we were just making about storm surge a while ago. You can take the very same northeast wind at however many miles an hour, let's say a northeast wind at 50 miles an hour. That northeast wind at 50 miles an hour will create a completely different surge effect at Atlantic, which is an area in our viewing area, than it will at Topsail Beach, which is an area farther south, or than it would at Emerald Isle, for instance. That same wind has different effects depending on where you are located on the coast because it changes so much. Now, in general, and again, very generally speaking, you see that purple shaded area on that map I see that you popped up, and you actually have a separate map here. We're looking at anywhere. We have a storm surge watch essentially in effect for all of our Outer Banks and a good portion of eastern Carteret County, which is kind of the southernmost purple blob you see there on that map. Anywhere in those zones that are sitting very near water have the potential to see up to 3 foot or more of water inundation above normally dry ground. And that's a significant level of water rise. The coastal flood watch areas, which are delineated more in different colors. They include places, and our local viewers will know, like Carteret County down towards Onslow County. You're looking at still 1 to 2 foot water inundation possible if you are near some of those problem areas closer to the coast. A foot of water doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot of water. That can cause road damage. It can cut off certain areas, make them isolated. That's one reason why we saw some of the evacuation orders that were issued for parts of the North Carolina coastline, because there are major concerns about, especially along the northern Outer Banks up around Highway 12. Once the overwash, and you got to keep in mind that northeast coastal part of North Carolina, they're going to take the brunt of the churning effect from this system as it moves in, again, because of the way they're pointed, the way they're facing. And so Highway 12 becomes very vulnerable to overwash. And once that goes underwater, well, you've cut off a major transportation route for getting rescue, for getting emergency personnel. So you really do take a gamble if you do not heed any local evacuation orders or any type of warnings coming in from your local officials. Most of the people who make those decisions have lived in North Carolina or similar coastal prone areas for a long time. They have a pretty good handle on what level of water causes things to get cut off at different stages. So if there's any advice ever given for a specific area, it's not worth taking a chance. And sometimes people say, well, I went through a category 1 back in, 19 whatever. And so and they use what happened in the past as a comparison of what's happened now, but no two storms are exact. And a deviation across our viewing area of 1 mile in track makes a huge difference in what the storm surge implications are for one area. And I don't care how good a forecaster you think you are, you're not going to be able to forecast to the 10th of a mile or to the half of a mile exactly where this thing is going to track. We're not that good. We got a pretty good handle on it, but that's why you don't take chances. If you're anywhere within any type of warned area or an area that we're giving specific advisories or local officials are giving specific orders, don't take chances. It's just simply not worth it.
That's absolutely correct. And I always say whenever people are talking about they don't want to evacuate, I'm like, okay, well, how long do you want to live without power? Because it could be days. No air conditioning, no power, no fresh food. It's just really uncomfortable. You might survive it, but it won't be comfortable.
No, it will. You're a very good point.
All right. We've got this one coming in from Trev Collins, hashtag Hey Juliana. Has Erin cooled off the waters enough to keep the incoming wave weaker? And that is one thing we love about fish storms, using up some of that energy out there.
Exactly. No, and it's it's a good point. I had somebody also ask about that this morning in the stream, and it's something that has been communicated and has been noted by the National Hurricane Center that, like we talked about, Erin moving a little slow. 9 miles per hour is that latest advisory. So Erin is effectively, almost borderline kind of parked in the same spot, and it's churning up all this water, and it's upwelling cooler waters. That's why, for people that might not be familiar with, the dynamics of these storms, that's what this person is referring to, that there is upwelling happening, and it's bringing up all these really significantly cooler water temperatures to and towards the surface. But as you can still see, how that has not necessarily been reflected in the grand scheme of things. And of course, that's going to, Erin is going to continue tracking to the north. Those sea surface temperatures are going to rebound or come right back to where they are and where they have been, which is warm. And of course, this wave in the central Atlantic that looks to kind of follow in Erin's wake, generally speaking. Of course, we do not know the exact path of this potential tropical system, but even if it does follow right behind Erin, this is still thousands of miles away. This is so far away from Erin at this point, and once it does sneak up towards the Caribbean islands, those water temperatures are going to warm. They're going to be plenty warm once more.
Absolutely. And this one's coming in from Holly Waddell asking, hashtag Hey Jerry, any heavy rain?
That's an excellent question. And out of all of this, that's probably the hardest one to answer. Just looking at a glance with the way this thing is tracking, we would certainly expect all of the very heaviest rain to stay offshore. That's good news because we're so accustomed with North Carolina impact hurricanes having to deal with the flooding rain and the increasing river levels and all of this. One caveat to that is, though, that's assuming that this forecast track holds exactly, and that's also assuming how the system unwraps. That's one of the hardest things to figure out with any system. We know that it's been undergoing some eyewall replacement cycles over the past 24 hours. That causes temporary fluctuations in intensity. As it starts to get farther north, it begins to encounter naturally some extra wind shear, and that may help to further have some impact down the road on its strength. Now, when you hear, okay, a hurricane might weaken, well, that is good news on one level, but as a hurricane changes structurally or as it weakens, there is a tendency for it to unwrap a little more. In other words, sometimes they will grow in size as they weaken, the amount of coverage area that they have. So if we get some of the heavier rain bands moving into the Outer Banks or coastal counties, which is a possibility, how far inland those bands will go will be highly dependent on what structurally is going on with that storm at the time, whether or not it's expanding its size. You see in that particular model solution that you have there on your screen how, and that's the Euro, I believe I'm looking at the header right here. You see how it actually shows some of those west side rain bands, making it for our viewers as far inland as Pitt County and Greenville area. Those watching from our North Carolina will know where that is. Some models have the core of the rain staying completely off the coast. All that to be said, rainfall, the heaviest totals of whatever falls are going to be at the Outer Banks and coastal counties. How far inland they go is highly questionable. It depends on how the system's unwrapping. And I've seen hurricanes in the past, they unfold in a way where all the rain winds up being on the northeast side. I've seen hurricanes unfold in a way where there wasn't much on the north side and we got a lot on the back side. You just never, models do not handle where specific bands will set up always very well. So don't mean to be vague about it, but you have to be a little vague about it. There's certainly the possibility for several inches of rain at the Outer Banks or the coast, but it all depends on structurally what's going on. There could be much less rainfall totals than that, but definitely the farther east you are, which is kind of common sense, the better potential for heavy rain you have. So I wish I had a more clear-cut answer on the rainfall, and ordinarily we would. If the storm were tracking inland, and thank goodness it's not, we would have a much better handle on who's going to see what. But being right on the edge, it's so hard to delineate where heavy rain and no rain will be, and it could be a very sharp cutoff line.
We really appreciate you joining us, Jerry. We know your time is busy. We have been there before. Our thoughts are with you. We hope you and all your viewers stay safe. Here from Tracking the Tropics, we're going to start wrapping this episode up. If we see any other storms forming, if we have any other updates, we are going to hop right back here on the stream and let you know what's going on in the tropics throughout the entire season. But if not, we will see you next Tuesday at 12:30, and hopefully things stay a little quieter between now and then, but we'll be watching very closely. Thanks for watching, and thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.